think it's in
Index column.
Index column. Is it one or two, or we customize?
It's not.
Okay.
Conditional column.
Conditional column.
Yes.
So we use something 01. Let me go to the
Results. Column name HT01.
This one, the new column name.
The new
This one?
column is Resort Hotel.
Okay.
Abi?
This hotel ID. Okay. And the column name is Resort Hotel. Yeah.
No.
Hotel. I don't think I can write hotels there. Yeah, I noticed. And I put hotel there.
So beautiful. As long as you
Okay.
inside the house, you don't see into the
All right. Okay. Yes. Okay. So if hotel is resort. Yeah, what did I press?
And actually, you go back to grandma. Look at that. Look at grandma. Look at grandma. Oh, yeah, look at that. And say bye. Say bye, grandma. Look at that. Look at grandma. And it's your
Then it should be HT01. Otherwise HT02. Okay.
I need to know if you had anything to do with this.
Of course we didn't. You like it?
Does it fit any kind of gang pattern you know of? Cop retaliation, someone new trying to earn cred?
Keep our eyes open.
What about Ken Haas?
Yeah, well done, Abisola. I just noticed something. I saw that your own table also took some time to load. Wasn't as I mean, it didn't take so much time as my own did. But I want us to quickly do what? Let us read something. All those steps there. So the reason why it's taking that time to load is because of the steps that are there. Let's try to delete the steps, including the help. Let's see if we can. Please just take even the steps you have done. I mean, this recent step, you do it again quickly. Take out those steps quickly. All the steps. Stop at. Keep taking out the steps. All the steps, because I think those steps are able to load slowly. So, guys, just take note of this. When you're doing your own too, if this works, this is what we should all do. You take out all the steps. Right? Only stop at source. Only source. Keep going, but don't remove source.
Okay.
Take it out. Stop at the source. Don't remove source. Just remove that filtered. Aha, good. So now right click on hotel and remove other columns. Remove other columns. Then take out duplicate now. Remove duplicate. Remove duplicates.
Okay.
Aha. Now use conditional colon again to create your ID quickly.
Okay.
MCs is a board, so no Yes. With that,
All right, good. Great. So you have become a pro now in creating conditional colon. Congratulations to you. So change the colon, the data type. You can see that this one was created very fast compared to the before, the other time.
Yes.
Change
Yeah.
text. Then click and drag the colon to the left. Let it be the first colon on the list.
Okay.
Okay, so guys, this is what we just did. Please, if you are creating this dimension, ensure you take out all the steps so that your laptop, I mean your Power BI desktop doesn't slow down. All right, thank you very much, Abisola, for doing that. My system is back up. You can stop sharing your screen now.
So much. Okay.
I can present. Okay, so let's get back to my own screen as I show us the next steps that show us how to create the other dimensions as we move on. I'll present my entire screen now. Success. Come on, collect your phone. So I'm sharing my entire screen. Can you see my screen? Okay, nobody. Okay, the screen is up now. Please check. Can you see my screen now? My entire screen. All right, beautiful. So back to the classroom. Oh, let's go back to the assignments that we are trying to answer. Here we are. That is assignment 15. Yep. And I'm going to view the assignments here. View instruction in a new tab. All right. So we have created the hotel dimension. And when you look at the instruction given, see, it says to do, create your hotel dimension table. Create a duplicate of the hotel data set that contains the field hotel name and rename it to Hotel Dime. undo all the transformation steps that came with the data set. You see that is what we've just done now. Note, your data should be in the same way it is from source. Now remove all the other columns except the hotel column. We have done all of this. Remove duplicates from that of repetition. We've done this. And then create the ID. We've done this. So after that, congratulations, you've created the hotel dimension. Next, let's create our location dimension. Already, we have connected the location dimension to the data set. Where's my Power BI? So where's my Power Query? So this is it. We have our location dimension, which is these countries or areas. Okay, let's look at the steps that we have captured in the classroom to create that. Now, we already imported the countries data set from the web. Yes, we did. We will need to do some transformation there. And these are the transformations you will carry out. Carry out the following steps to clean your country table. Rename the table to location dim or dimension. So this is it here. I'll rename it from here. I'll call it location dim. That is done. Remove all the other columns that are not aligned above. Okay, so what are the columns that are not aligned above? And these are the columns we need. We need the code, country name, region, and continent, just like I said from my conceptual model. So I need the, I don't need this NO. I don't need NO, so I'm going to take out this NO. I need the country name. I need the country code. So which, I don't need this region 2. I'll take out region 2. I'll take out M9 code. So I selected region 2 first. Then I held on control key and I selected M9 code. Then I don't need this number. I'm taking out those 3 colors. So I've selected the 3 colors by holding on control key. I'll right click on any of the 3 colors and select remove columns. So once I remove those, I'm left with country. So I'll change this country to country name. Just double click here. Double click and change it to country name as presented in this classroom as suggested here. So I've renamed this as country. Then code. So I want to rename this as country code instead of ISO alpha. Double click here and call it country code. Okay. Then instead of having this one as region 1, I want it to be region. Double click inside that box and leave it as region. Then we want continent. So I would like my code to be the first column on the table. I'll click and move it to the left. So this looks good. Let's look at other instruction that we have in the classroom. Okay. So it says rename the location, the table to this. We've done that. Remove all other columns that are not aligned. We've done that. Rename your column names to align with the thing. I've done that. Highlight. Yes. Adeni, your hand is up. Let me hear a question.
Sir, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. Before the create your location dimension, there's a question over there. Is it a question or is just there? Just show up.
This
Yeah.
one.
Wait. No, that merge hotel dimension table with the fat table on the hotel.
Okay, this
name
one.
column.
This one here.
Yes, sir. Yes. Sir.
Okay, we'll do it. We'll do it. Yeah,
Yes,
we'll
sir.
do it. Yeah, I want to create my dimensions before I start merging them. So we'll do it because we have to measure all the tables. All right. So that is that. Then let's look at now. It says highlight all the columns and trim for white spaces. Okay, so what is white space? What is a white space? Let me explain what white space is. I want to do that by showing you on a notepad. Okay, now this is a notepad. So what's the white space? That imagine I'm typing, I want to type Abisola's name, Abisola Vicky. Okay, now I've typed Abisola's name, Abisola Vicky without leaving white space. I will type the same name now again and then leave some white spaces. So what's the difference? You will notice that I did two space here, 1, 2. So the additional space is an unnecessary white space that shouldn't be in the text. And that is the reason why the second Abisola Vicky seems to be longer than the first Abisola Vicky. Guys, are you guys, if you are following me, please give me a thumbs up. So this additional space that is not required is what we refer to as white space. In fact, this is white space. So any unnecessary white space should be taken out in your data set. Am I communicating? And how do you do that? Let's go back to our location dimension. So we perceive that there are white spaces in this data, even if you're not sure, because you cannot always see the white space just easily. It's not always very visible. So what will I do? I'll press Ctrl A on my key to highlight all the tables. Then I would go to transform. Under transform, you will find formats. Go to formats. Under formats menu, you're going to see the trim. When I point my arrow to trim, what does it say? It says remove leading and trailing white spaces from each cell in the selected columns. So this trim will do all of this magic by removing every white spaces that are contained in this data set. Trim. And once I do that, we have removed white space. Like I said again, you may not already at a glance see the effect of the removed white space you have just done. But just know that the white spaces have been removed. Winifred, are you still with us or you've slept off? Okay, Winifred is still with us. Glory to God. All right, now that we are good with that, if you take note of something, although what I observe right now is not in the, let me see if it's in the list. Now the last condition says, last instruction, inspect the country name colon and remove any null value by filtering. Okay, so at least it's there in the instruction. If you observe, you would see that on the country code colon, we have some missing from some empty values. See, although it's very little, less than 1%, but there are missing values. So how do I know? Apart from seeing this less than 1%, when you look at the top here, where my arrow is pointing at, you see this blue color, and there is a gray color, a very tiny gray color. Whenever you have missing values in any column, there is always going to be the presence of this gray color. So you can see this column called country name, there is no gray, which means everything is complete. This column called region, there is no gray, everything is complete. Continents do not have any gray, everything is complete. But the country code has some gray. So let's filter to see the blanks. So these are the blanks. I'm going to uncheck this box and check the blank to understudy what's up with the blank. Oh, can you see what I have under the blank? It's just one particular country called SAR. It's a Europe country. Now, if I don't want to take this country out, I can actually search for the country online to see what is the country code for SAC, if there's any country like that. Well, this is my first time of seeing it. Let me just check if there's a country called SAC. What is the country code? What is the country code for SARK, SAC? Let's see if there's anything that makes sense. Oh, so we have the ISO, this country code as GG. Well, I wouldn't have been able to guess it correctly. I'd have guessed something wrong. I'd have maybe guessed like SK or something. But now the internet is saying that the country code is actually GG. So that is a country code that is missing. We have GG for the ISO code. Then this is the calling code +44, UK postcode GY10. So I think we're going to use GG for that country code. Okay. The reserved code is CQ. So let's first check if there is any country code that is labeled GG. Although the instruction in the classroom asks you to filter that out, but don't worry. I'm going to filter. Let's see, is there any country code with GG before we replace that one? I'm scrolling through the country code list. Okay, in fact, I can actually search for it. Let's just do a search instead of wasting time scrolling through the list. So how do you do a search? Come to this search box here and type GG. Okay, we don't have GG. What we have is GGY. So it means that it is safe for us to label that country code SAC as GG. Am I communicating? If I'm still communicating, please can you give me a reaction? Okay, Winifred wants to ask a question. Winifred, please go ahead.
So what if we don't see any country code? What are we supposed to do?
You remove it.
Okay.
Yes, you remove that row. So that was why I went to check to be sure that that country exists. And it actually exists, and I've seen the code. All right, so thank you for that question. Now, let's go ahead and take out this filter, and let's do a find and replace or replace blank. I'll right-click at the here. I'll right-click on the top of the column and select the replace values option. So I'm going to be replacing empty with GG. Do you see that? I'm replacing empty, so I'm not putting anything defined to find value, but I'm putting GG here. Let's click OK and check if that has replaced the empty. Can you see now that we don't have any empty space again? It is now 0%, which means that we have, something in the code. Now, why do we have to do this? Let me mention something real quick. Remember that from our lesson yesterday, I spoke about primary key and foreign keys. Now, some of the attributes of a colon that will be considered to be a primary key colon. Number one attribute is that the colon cannot, and I repeat, cannot contain duplicates. That's number one attribute. Number two attribute is that the colon cannot be empty. I repeat, the colon cannot be empty. So any colon that you want to use as a primary key for a particular table is not permitted to be empty, number one. Number two, the column is not permitted to contain duplicates. And that was the reason why I started by checking if there's any country already that has a code GG. If there was, I would have done a further search to look at the appropriate code for the SAC country we've just seen. But since there was none, that means it was safe for us to use the GG as our, as the code. Am I communicating? Please, am I communicating, guys? Okay. Now let's even check the column profile to see, not column profile, I mean the column distribution. Can you see the column distribution now? We have 249 distinct, 249 unique, which means that there is no one country code that repeated itself, which just confirms what I spoke about being unique and not allowing for duplicate for any colon that should serve as a primary key. So that means this colon is actually qualified to be taken as the primary key for this table. That means this particular country code will uniquely identify each country that we have on our location dimension. With what we have done, it means this particular table is good, is now in a good shape, is clean for us to continue working with it. Let's go back to the classroom to see if there are other instructions. So after we have done that for the country dimension, the next thing is to create our relationships. Before we create our relationships, let's check. Remember, we're supposed to merge this hotel dimension. We're supposed to merge it with the combined data. In fact, I think I should change the data to facts table. I'm changing my combined data to facts table. So please feel free to do that from your end too. Why is this not typing? What is happening in my computer? So I've changed my combined data to facts table. You can see that this hotel dimension is having a question mark. The reason is because I have changed it to facts table. Let me just go and leave it at combined. It's either I leave it as combined data or I make a copy again. So the reason why it gave me a question mark and I'm seeing this error is because I have created the hotel dimension from that combined table. Now that I have changed the name, Power BI is confused. It's confused. You say, oh, you created this table from a previous table. Right now, I can't see it. A previous refresh was cancelled. If you have disabled the download of the data for the preview, this is unexpected, or this is expected to happen since. Well, all of those plenty stories showing because I changed this fact to combined. Let me change the name to combined data and hope that will solve the problem. Wait, how did I spell it? Well, did I give it did I use, what's it called? An underscore before?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think I did. Okay, that didn't solve the problem. Well, it's not a problem. Since it didn't solve the problem, I'll go ahead and leave it as fact table. Then I'll delete that hotel dimension I created earlier and create another one. Let me just delete this hotel dimension. So I can create another one from the facts table that I've just labeled. My computer is massively misbehaving this evening, and I don't know what's going on with it. How will I try to right click and it's giving me something else? So I'll quickly create another hotel dimension by making a duplicate here. since I have named it as fact table. From this duplicate, I'll call this hotel dimension. Hotel dime. And from this hotel dimension, I would like to take out all the steps that I don't want here before I do any other thing. I'll take out all the steps and just stop it at that source. Then once I would right click on the hotel, remove other columns, then remove the duplicate from this particular column. And once I do that, I'll use my conditional column to create my ID again. Let's allow it to complete the cleaning process. Okay, so I'm going to use my conditional colon, add colon, conditional colon to create my ID. So what do I want to call it? I want to call it hotel ID. And I'm doing that based on the column called hotel. So if the hotel is equals resort hotel, I like it to label it as HT01. Otherwise, label it as HT02. Click OK. And once that is done, I would have to change the data type of that column to text. Okay, I think this thing that is taking this time is as a result of my computer, the speed of my computer reducing drastically. This computer needs a baby boy. It needs a younger brother. That is the sign it's just giving me right now. Say, guy, you have used me too much. Please, I need a replacement. and I'll think about replacing it. So it's combined hotel data, hotel ID represented on the fact table, just like we did for the example from our class yesterday. So I'll come back to the fact data or fact table. Then I'll click on what am I clicking on under the home menu? Merge queries. I'll click on merge queries. All right. I want to merge the fact table with the hotel dimension. All right. And I will do this merge on the hotel column. Select hotel column, select hotel column. Now, what is the essence of doing this? From our class yesterday, what's the essence of doing this? Let me start with Winifred. Winifred, what's the essence of doing this merge? From our class yesterday, from what I explained before I started the merge. Winifred's mic is turned off.
Maybe I feel so you have all the information in one table. I'm merging both of them.
Yeah, your answers seem to be correct, but it's not as direct as I want it to be. It's not as direct as I want it to be. Let me hear from Emmanuel Asuko. Emmanuel, do you want to try? What's the essence of doing this merge? Emmanuel, your mic is still muted. Emmanuel is most likely having a bad network. Let me move on to Adeni Ibrahim. Ibrahim, do you want to try? What's the essence of doing this merge? We need to understand every single thing that we are doing on this training.
I think, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
I think when she has already said it, if I want to say anything, I will go with her. And besides, maybe it's because maybe we want to how will I put this? Let me just go with her.
Thank you very much. Let me move on to Abisola. Abisola, what's the essence of doing this?
I feel like we do it to see the correlation between the two tables, because the primary table, the fact table and the primary table, they need to have some correlations together.
Okay.
So
All right, beautiful. Chidima, what's the essence of doing this merge?
I think it's to create the relationship between the two tables.
To create relationship between the tables. All right, beautiful. Thank you very much, Chidima. So I have an assignment for you guys. Apart from the assignments that are already in the classroom, I want to give you guys assignments, and this assignment is going to be, we'll do the presentation on Wednesday. So the presentation is not going to be done as a group. It will be done individually. So I'll call you individually for those of you on the call. Abisola, Chidima, Winifred, Emmanuel Soko, and Adini. I'll call you guys individually to ask you to teach me about merging two or more tables in Power BI, and the difference between merging and appending tables. So, and I need you to teach me like a 5-year-old. All right. So please take down the assignment. I need to do a research about to merge tables and to append tables. What do they mean? And what's the difference between merging tables or appending tables in Power BI desktop? So I will call you from Wednesday, no specific time, but I'll give you heads up before I call. Individually, you explain to me for me to understand what it means to merge tables in Power BI. So having said that, let me continue with what I was talking about. So for me, right now, the essence of doing this is because although we have a common column, hotel on the fact table, hotel on the dimension table. In fact, we all saw the way we created the hotel dimension from a fact table. We made a duplicate of that fact table, and then we deleted all the other columns and we created the hotel dimension. So on the hotel dimension, we now created a new column called hotel ID. So now, for me, like I said earlier, the essence of doing this is so that I would have this hotel ID to be presented on the fact table. I want to have a representative of my primary key, which is the hotel ID on my hotel dimension, to be present on my fact table as a foreign key. Okay, that is the essence of doing this merge for me. But there is more to it. There is more to merging two tables. That's what I want you guys to do further research about it. And when I call you on Wednesday, please you teach me what it means. So once I do this, I'll click OK. And as soon as I do that, you notice that the hotel dimension has been merged to the fact table, which means when I say merge, it means I have taken the hotel dimension and I've added it to the fact table as a new column. So I can expand to select the column I want to import from the hotel dimension. The column I want to import from that place to this fact table, that is the only thing I will select. And the column I want to import is just the hotel ID column. So I will uncheck this box, the select all box, check the hotel ID, which is the only thing I need. And I don't want it to have a prefix. I'll uncheck this box because I don't want a prefix. So what I mean by prefix, in fact, I think I should do that so that you know what it means. In fact, let me leave all the columns and leave the prefix and click OK so that you know the implication of not unchecking some things. Yeah, Winifred hand is up. Let me hear Winifred.
Please, what does that aggregate stand for there?
So aggregate means, do I want to just calculate maybe the sum? Let's click on it. I want to do a count of the ID or a count of the hotel or what? That is aggregate. In fact, for this question, I think I will do aggregate, I will do expanded. Watch me. Let's start with expanded. So expanded, I'm leaving all the old boxes checked, right? I'll click OK. We'll see the effect of. So what just happened? I have imported all the columns from the hotel dimension that I created, and I have brought them into this table. You can see we have the hotel ID and the hotel. So the prefix there is the name of the hotel, hotel dime dots. This hotel dime dot hotel ID, it appears this way or appeared this way because I didn't uncheck the prefix box. Of course, the English people on the call, Chidima and Abisola, that are the English masters, we have suffix and prefix in English, right? Mine is okay. So prefix is any letter or group of words that comes before a particular word. So that is prefix. Suffix is the one that comes after the word, isn't it? So the prefix here is the table name dot the column name. So if you don't want it, you have to uncheck that box you saw the other time. So, and by merging these two tables, we have seen automatically that we just imported the columns from the hotel dimension table we created. We imported them into the facts table. That is what merge does. Whenever I'm merging two tables, it means that you want to increase the number of columns. That is what it typically means. I've given you an export to your assignment, but you still go and do the research. What it does is simply expands the number of columns. It means you have taken all the columns you have from table 2 and you have imported them into table 1. But before that merge can be done, before it can be possible, you must have at least one common column between the two tables. Please, am I speaking English or German? Before the merge can be made possible, you must have one common column so that you use that common column to merge the two of them by bringing other columns to the. If I'm making sense at all, I'd like to see action from you. Okay, I guess my network. Okay, I'm making sense. I've seen reactions. Thank you for the reactions. My network stopped me from seeing the reactions earlier. Okay.
Sir, please can you come again on the last thing that you said? My network.
So what I said last, I said that. But Emmanuel, I hope you heard me when I explained the idea of merging two tables, right? I said if you are merging two tables, it means you want to bring all the columns that are from table 2. You want to add them to table 1 so that you have more columns, just like what we did here. We brought in these two columns into this particular table called the fact table. So, and I went further to explain that before this merge can be made possible, right? Before it can be possible for you to merge two tables, you must have at least one common column on the two tables. That is the common column that used to merge, because the merge wants to see things that are, that are the same. All right. So I will delete this merge that I have done. We just did the merge, right? We did the merge and we added all the columns. Now let's do aggregate based on the question. Adeni wants to ask a question. Please go ahead, Adeni.
Sir, I'm really sorry for interrupting you, sir.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. Sir, is there any difference between the merge query and append query? Because I'm finding it difficult.
Because I know that you're finding it difficult. Let's I give the assignments now. Let's I give the assignments. Even though I've explained merge. But I don't want to. Let me see. Can anybody explain append? Because that day, Chidima explained append with an example. Chidima, do you remember? Understand it, even though the assignment will still be done. Hi, Chidima. Chidima, don't vex you. She don't want to help again. Who wants to help Adeni understand append? Anybody? Adeni, sorry, nobody is willing to help you. So if nobody is willing to help you, I'm not going to help you to go and do your research. So let me continue. Now that's about that, right? I have merged it together. So let me delete this step and merge again. So this time around, I'm going to merge. Okay, sorry, it's already merged. So I don't need to merge again. Let me expand. I deleted the expanded step. Let's expand again. So instead of expanding, instead of doing the expansion, let's do aggregate. I'll select aggregate and I'll do aggregate of all. And I will still leave it, I will still leave this use original table name as prefix. I'll leave that option and click OK. So let's see the effect of doing an aggregate. An aggregate just give you a summary, like a summary could be a count. Of course, this aggregate we are doing here is count. And it's only counts that we can actually do because it is a string data or text data. If it was number, then there would have been more aggregates that can be done, like sum or average or other statistics. Let's wait for Power Query Editor to aggregate that count for us and show us the value as an aggregate. Let's give it some time to perform that. This one is taking forever to perform this aggregate. I hope I've not shoot ourselves by calculating aggregate. Now who send us work? Oh, this one that this is not loading forever. Go and hit it. Now if I press any button, it might just hang the computer. I don't want that to happen. Let me see if I can stop this load because it's taking all our time. Let's take out the aggregate step since it doesn't want to aggregate. Okay, well, you understand. I hope you understand what it means, Cha. It's taking our time. But let's now go ahead to what I intend to do. So what I intend to do actually is just I only want to present the hotel ID on the facts table. That is all I want. I don't want all the columns to be added to the fact table, just the ID. And I don't want it to go with the original name as prefix. I'll uncheck this box and I'll do this. This is all I want to do. I only want to import the hotel ID from the hotel dimension table. Please, if you understand the reason for my merging as explained, I'd like to see reactions, please. I'd like to see reactions, please. Thank you, Vicky. It's like others are sleeping in my class. Winifred, Adeni, Emmanuel, Chidima. Or is it I'm not seeing the reactions from my end because of my network or what is happening here? Okay, let's continue. So now that Chidima is giving me thumbs down, Adeni is giving me, so what's thumbs down for? Please, I don't understand. Why the thumbs down? Are you confused about something? Please ask a question quickly.
So you said if you understand your reason for merging, and I said no, it's not clear, sir.
Makachuku. Abisola, please help me. You. I've spoken all your English. I know how to speak. I don't know. Someone should put me English. Abisola, please help me. Can you explain in your own English? Because I know you're an English person, so maybe you will help me out.
I'm not an English person, but based on my understanding on the hotel dim, you said because you don't want all the tables on the hotel dim to appear here
Mhm.
because
All
we
the
did
columns
it before earlier, all the columns here, and we did it
Mhm.
before. It was showing hotel dim and then hotel ID and the other one, and we really do not
Yeah.
need all those ones. We only
Yeah.
need hotel ID. That was why you unmark some of the
Boxes.
things, the boxes, and then we don't also want the prefix.
Mhm.
So that was why, and we only need hotel ID. So we picked the hotel ID, and then that's all. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So I feel like we just need to pick whatever we needed, what we want, we pick it and leave the rest.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. And let me add more to what she said, Chitima. The reason why I did that, why I picked just the hotel ID, is because I need the ID on the fact table to serve as the foreign key to create my relationship. I need that ID on the fact table because I need to create a relationship. But bringing it here doesn't mean that it has left the hotel dimension. It's still there. See, it's still there. The hotel ID is still here on the hotel dimension. I just imported it here so that I can use it to marry the two tables together. Now, since I've taken the ID to the fact table, I don't need the hotel name again. I can now delete. So I'm back to the fact table. I can now delete the hotel column from the fact table because I have brought in a representative. I can remove it now confidently from the fact table because the fact table should only contain IDs and numeric values as explained from yesterday's class. If you have not seen that video again, please go and watch it again and try to digest what I explained in that class yesterday about fact table and dimension tables. Okay, so with what we have done, let me come to with what we've done. I think so. My meal costs. Okay, I need an ID for my meal cost. I need an ID for my meal cost. I need an ID for my market segment also. So let's create ID for these guys real quick. Now let's start with market segment. For this market segment, I'll just create index number for my ID. I'll go to add colon, then index colon, and say start from 1. That is all. I'll rename this as market segment, market underscore segment ID. Okay. Then I'll move it to the starting of the table. So now I want to merge. So now I want to import this market segment ID that I've just created here. I want to import it to the fact table again. But of course, before I can do that, I have to be sure that there is a common colon on these two tables. Does that make sense? Do you understand, guys? Good. So how can I be sure there's a common colon? I'll come to the fact table and check. Thankfully, we have a colon called market segments. Let me show you before we do the merge. This is a colon here. It's called market segments. And this market segment is the same thing we have here. Can you see it? These are the market segments here. So I will use that common colon that appear both on the fact table and on the market segment table to import my ID, the ID I have just created. So once I import the ID, I can go ahead and delete that market segment colon that is on the fact table because I only want IDs on my fact table, just IDs and numeric values. Okay, so let's do that. So I'll come back to my fact table. Then I'll go to home and I'll do a merge queries. I'm not merging as new, I'm merging queries. So this time around, I want to merge the fact table to get on with the market segment table. So I'm merging them on the market segment. So let me look for market segment colon. So here is market segment. I'll select market segment and select market segment. So once I do that, Power BI would load. As soon as it gives me the estimate of matches that are done, I'll then click on OK. Let's wait for it to complete the estimate of matches that will be found on both tables. Don't forget, I am doing this merge because I want to import the market segment ID to the fact table. And once that is imported, I can confidently delete the market segment colon that is still on this fact table. So the match has been done and it was able to match all the data. You can see the number. The selection matches 141,939 of 141,939 rows, which makes sense. Then click OK. So once that is done, you can go ahead and expand the appended table to choose the column of interest. So I'll expand this appended table, and then I choose the column of interest, which is what? Market segment ID. I'll uncheck, select all, and check only market segment ID because that is what I want to import. Am I communicating, guys? I need reaction space. Am I communicating? Beautiful. Thank you very much. So I click on OK. And once I do that, I have been able to successfully import the market segment ID into my facts table. Okay. So what should I do next? I need to go and delete the market segment column since I have brought in a representative. This is the ID. So I'll go to the market segment column and delete it from here. I'm looking for it. And here is it. So I'll right click here and I'll delete, remove market segment column. Okay, so finally, I want to also create an ID for the meal cost. And once I create an ID, I'll also merge it together the facts table, copy the ID column to the fact table and delete whatever common column that we have. So let's also make an ID using index number. Go to add column, index column from 1, okay, and change it to meal ID. Meal ID, enter, then move it to this side. Okay, so now I'll go back to my facts table again, go to merge tables, I'll go to my home menu, go to merge queries and select merge queries. This time around, I'm merging the fact table with the meal cost table, meal cost. Then I'm merging both tables on the meal cost. I think there's a meal table or a meal here. This is a meal column. There's a meal column on the fact table. This is it. I click on meal and I click on meal. So it's going to estimate the number of matches that we found. Estimate is done. I can click on OK to move on to the next step that would have to do with the data modeling. So once all of these merges are done, I will then go to my model view to check if my tables are connected. Power BI most times will automatically connect it for you if you have done your cleaning well. But if the connection is not done, you have to do it yourself. So you can see the estimation has been done and we have the accurate number of estimated values. So I click on OK. And once I click on OK, I can go ahead and expand the tables and select the table of interest, which is not the meal ID. Then I click on OK. So with this, I have successfully imported the meal ID column. And I think I'm good with what has been done. All right. So I would like these 3 columns to be at the beginning of my table. So I've selected the 3 of them and I'll move it to the left. I'm trying to move them to the left so that they can form the first few columns that we have on this fact table. So that when the relationship is created in my model view, I will not have to be scrolling down to see the columns that I've used to relate them. So I'm still moving it to the left. I'm still moving 3 columns to the left. I'm still moving them to the left. And here we go. So I can drop it here now. All right, I can drop it right here. Okay, so we have the 3 columns as the first column, the meal ID, the customer segment ID, and the hotel ID. And I think I'm good with what we have. So the next step is to close and apply. Come here and do close and apply. So once we close and apply, as soon as these steps are applied, I'll then go to my model view to check if my relationship is created. If that is done, it means that we have completed assignment 15. Just go ahead, download it, submit your work using the specified title. And if you can do this in free for this week, so next week you'll be starting on a new slate. If I were you, I will make sure that I complete this assignment tonight before before we end this call, Emmanuel Asuko, please, I would like you to share your screen so that I can solve your problem, your error problem. But let's just hold on for this thing to load. The class is about community. Once we are able to, once you confirm that we've established the relationship, that will be all for today. But it's loading. If there are questions, accept your questions if you have any question for me. Let's just be patient. Let's be patient. Let's be patient, please. All right, so I think this is almost done. Yes, so our data has been loaded in. Okay. If you can see my screen, please give me a reaction. All right, thank you for the reaction, guys. So now let's go to our model view to check if Power BI has been able to create the relationship for us. Come over to the model view and click on this model view. And once you come to model view, you can see that Power BI had automatically created all the relationships for us. Can you see that? Apart from the location dimension, I think there is something that we need to do about the location dimension. So it has created all the relationship for us. So let's try to create the location dimension for us, like ourselves. It's now the reason why it did not create it's most likely that it is either the data type on both tables are different, number one, or there's a duplicate on the location dimension table itself. We have duplicate on that country code. Okay, so either of those two. If none of these, we want to create the relationship manually ourselves, the relationship creates. Otherwise, it will give us a many-to-many relationship if there are duplicates. If there are duplicates on the location table. So there mustn't be duplicates on the location dimension, like I said earlier. But if there are no let's try to create a relationship. So I'll create the relationship from country code to, let me look at the column, from country code to, what is that column called again? Let me check if I can. If I cannot decipher the column name here, we'll have to go to the table view to remind ourselves of what the column name is called. Okay, is it called country? No, country is the full name, right? Okay, I think it's called. Let's just take let's check table view first to be sure of what
Country is
table
the
called.
code.
I mean, what? Oh, country. Okay, good. Country. Thank you very much. So I will do I will say, watch the way I'm going to do it. This one shortcut. Click on country code from your location dimension. Click and drag it to country here and leave it like this. Do you see that? Once you click, drag it and leave it, it will give you this new relationship dialog box. Select tables and columns that are related. So it has already selected it. It's going to create a one-to-many relationship, which is what I want. I'm happy that it's a one-to-many relationship. And it will make this relationship active, which is fine. All I need to do is just say save. So once I click on save, the relationship has been created. So which means that our data modeling has been done completely. I thought you'd give me a round of applause for that. So we have successfully completed our data modeling, which means that we are now ready for data visualization. And then we can now create our dashboard. Are there questions? Any question from anyone? So this is what you are expected to do this week, like complete this model today, and submit. Once you're done with this, you can now submit the assignment for the 15th assignment, once you're done with this. Are there questions, please? Have a question for me? Does anyone have a question for me? Yes? Chidima, go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir, for today's class. My question is just based on this creating relationship manually, if I should use that way. Is it that something went wrong, that the Power BI couldn't create it for you, being a fault from your side? Or is it just normal? Then the second question is it only clicking and dragging you can create it on your own, or is there any other method? And assuming you click and drag and it couldn't fix the two relationship as in we have to merge, that means you have to go back to start creating another relationship. That means there is no relationship between your facts table and
my tables.
yes.
Fantastic. Fantastic questions here. I love these questions that Chidima does ask. They are very brilliant questions. So Chidima, the reason why Power BI was able to automatically create the relationship between the meal cost, the market segments, and the hotel tables dimensions together with the fact is because, in fact, I have already created the relationship myself indirectly in that Power Query. So that importing of columns that we did by merging them. So it means that I have already created the relationship automatically. So I went to the meal cost, I picked the ID and imported it to the fact table. So automatically those things are linked directly, just automatic. I went to the market segment, I created an ID, I took the ID and I imported it to the fact table. So all of those things I'm doing, Power BI is seeing it. And Power BI is seeing that, okay, these are linked already. So immediately I finished and I came here, the relationship was created. Now, but it didn't create the relationship for the location dimension because I didn't do any of such merge. Remember that on our fact table, there's a country column that came with the fact table already from scratch. But just that column do not have the full names of the country, it only has the code. So we went ahead to import an additional data so that we can tell which country code is this by saying the name of the country in full. So this country data is a new data on its own that I brought in. Now, if I want Power BI to also be able to create this for me, the relationship automatically, I will have to merge the country code that is on this new table into that existing fact table. I will merge them using that same country code to do the merge. So if I did that, once I come to this model view, the relationship would have been created at a goal. But because I didn't do a merge, I brought a fresh table, although there are columns that are common to both of them. So I didn't have to do a merge. Okay. That was why Power BI could not identify this relationship automatically. So I didn't have to do it myself. All right. And again, they have different names. On the fact table, it's called country. On the location dimension, it's called country code. But that won't stop the relationship from being created. Do you understand, Chidima? That was why I had to do it myself because I didn't do a merge. Now, to your second question. So what if I tried to do the merge? I mean, to create the relationship, but the relationship refused to create. Like I said, before I did that, there are two things that will cause that might possibly cause that from happening. Let's say three things. Number one, if the two columns, no, let me mention four things. Number one, if the two columns do not contain the same thing, the same kind of data, then the relationship will not be created. See, one has country code, the other one has country. Even the one that is called country, it is code that is stored under it. So assuming that the one that is called country, it is the country that is stored there, the country name. And I try to create a relationship between country code and country name. There's going to be an error. I think I should just show you practically as I explained. Let me delete this relationship I've created. I'll delete. So now, yes, I want to delete the relationship. So now I've deleted the relationship between the fact table and the country and the location and dimension. Let me try to create a relationship between country name and country. Don't forget that under the country column on the fact table, what do we have there? What do we have there? Do we have the country name or have the country code? On the fact table, what do we have there?
The country code.
Good, we have the country code. So now I want to attempt to create a relationship between country name and country code. Let's see what happens. Oh, beautiful. This relationship is even able to create itself. Okay, let me just go ahead and create it. This is really amazing. So Power BI is very intelligent to even know that this particular code can even create a relationship with this thing. So it's still seeing a one-to-many. And funny enough, even though I didn't expect this, the relationship created, but I did not expect it. I didn't expect that it's going to create a relationship. But I think the reason why the relationship is still there is because, let me be sure. Okay, I think the reason why it's still there is because there is a code already on that table that it can use to map the country name individually. That is the reason why the relationship was created. So let me go back to my point, the point I was mentioning. If number one, if the two columns does not contain the same data, the relationship will not be created. Number two, if the two columns contain the same data, but one has a different data type, the other one has a different data type, the relationship will not be created. For instance, if one is saved as numeric number, the other one is saved as text, even though they have the same content, the relationship will not be created. Number three, if there's a duplicate on both tables, let's say there are duplicate country code on my location dimension, there are duplicate country code on my facts table, the relationship will be created though, but it will give you a pop-up message or a warning message. It will tell you that, hey guy, you're about to create a many-to-many relationship. What you're about to do, is it intentional? Do you understand? The relationship will be created, but it will be broken. So, which means that when you go to your data view to begin to create visualization, that relationship will not work. And I will show you when we start with visualization next week. I will show you the reason why these relationships I've created is important. I will show us practically. So that's the third reason why relationship will not work if you have duplicates on the primary key column, which is supposed to be on the location dimension. So if you notice that kind of a thing, what you should do is to just go to your Power Query and delete duplicates on the country code column. That's all. Once you do that, that problem will be fixed. If you come back here and attempt to create the relationship will be created at one goal. So I believe I've been able to answer your question, Chidima. Yeah. Okay, I think the last one you asked, the last question you asked is there another way I can create this relationship without clicking and dragging? That was the question you asked. Let me answer that one. Yes, there's a way to do that. This is a shortcut. I love shortcuts a lot in computer. But what is the long process of creating these relationships? If I don't want to do click and drag, I will come to under relationship. Can you see manage relationships? Can you see that icon? Manage relationships. I'll click on that manage relationship. It will now give me this dialog box. So it will ask me new relationship. It say, what relationship do you want to create? I will click on new relationship. And then to give me this box that we saw earlier by when I did my click and drag. I see this is a long process. It's a long method. So once you give me the box, from which table I want to create relationship from my facts table to what table I want to create relationship with my location dimension. On which column? So you can see Power BI automatically selected the column of interest for you. Immediately I selected the two tables. Just pick this column and this one. Then I can go ahead and click on save. So this is a long method to do it. If you want to do it using a short method, just click and drag to the other one and then you leave it. That is a short way. I love that short method. Guys, does that make sense? Thank you very much for the questions. And thank you for being staying to the end of the class. I wish you all the best as you go ahead to complete this last assignment. Please, I want to beg everyone, complete the assignment for this week so that next week I will not choke you. Please, I beg in the name of God. Today is Sunday. I'm using God's name to beg everyone. Thank you, and I wish you all the best. Remember, we'll give you the maximum support that you need whenever you have any issues. With that, we've come to the end of today's class. Even though we had a very terrible network situation at the beginning, but I hope towards the end,